Welcome to the Getting to Know Your Host session of Stimulate, a summit for wives to increase spiritual, relational, and physical stamina in marriage. I am so excited and honored to have my mentor and dear friend, Vicki Lepick, with us this morning. Thank you so much, Vicki, for spending time with us here today. You have been...
Sabeth.
You're such a treasure to me, and I'm thankful that the wives here are going to get to know you just a little bit. And really, we just wanted to have a space for those of you who don't know myself to hear my heart about the why behind this summit. So first, Vicki, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey as a wife.
Okay, thank you, Sabeth. Yeah, I'm so excited about this conference too. I know you've been wanting to do something like this for so long, and I just appreciate the whole value of bringing wives together. So this is monumental and it's unique. Thank you for your passion with all of this. I'm actually on a second marriage right now. I was married for 25 years and unfortunately, my husband died. And many years later, I met my current husband, Mark Lepick, and we've been married almost 15 years. Have an anniversary coming up soon.
Yeah, you have had a journey like no other. And we've been journeying together just for the past over a decade. And I've always said I want to be like Vicki when I grow up. So I'm trying to get there.
You're already fast.
Yeah, so let's just jump right in.
Okay, great. So, Sabeth, now I want you to tell us a little bit about your journey as a wife.
Yeah, I got married right before my 23rd birthday, and we got married in the morning and graduated from Bible college that same night. And
I remember that day.
Poor everybody who we were on staff with at the Bible college. They had to, they just got behind us for the whole day. And so we're so involved in our wedding. And then all of us, my husband and I, graduated together that same night. And Vicki, you came through so strong with our wedding cake, which was absolutely delicious. One of the many hidden talents that you have as a wedding cake baker. So we got married, and then in our first 5 years of marriage, we moved from Hawaii to Canada, which was an hour above Buffalo, New York. And we survived my husband's MA program while I was working at the seminary that he was attending. And we had 2 kids while we were in Canada. And then we moved to Eugene, Oregon, and we had 1 more kid. And it was a lot of monumental life seasons and things that happened in a really short amount of time. And so there were times when I just was convinced I wasn't gonna make it. Like, I couldn't continue because I was not equipped. I didn't know what I was doing. And of course, when I was getting ready to get married and, we went through pre-marriage counseling, Will even told me, and if you guys are watching and you know Will, he says what he means. And he told me, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "I'm totally sure." And then in that first 5 years, all the things that happened, I was like, whoa, I am not sure. I had, no, I'm not ready for this. And he's like, "I told you. I told you exactly what you were getting into." So needless to say, there are parts of the marriage journey that we can't prepare for and are very vital to our day-to-day life. And it's my hope through this space that we can share those real, honest experiences together.
Yeah. So tell me more. What is the why behind Stimulate, a summit for wives?
Yeah, there are so many spaces, like I was saying, that are vital to our journeys as wives. But I feel like, and I've talked to a lot of women throughout the last decade, that we don't get to talk about some of the things that are really happening and that are really affecting our lives as wives. And I think it's easy to feel unseen. It's easy to feel unknown because you feel unseen. And then we begin to feel like we might be the only ones that have ever dealt with this situation that we're walking through. But the reality is, it's pretty normal. We just don't talk about it. And so my hope through this summit is that we can begin to have those conversations that we've always wanted to have, that we can be empowered and encouraged really to be who we were meant to be. And when we can be honest about what's happening and we can be accepted and heard and loved and encouraged, then there's so much space to grow. And that's really my heart behind this summit.
That sounds so great. But why now? What made you want to do it now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in August of 2021, I started a business called Invited Back, where I encourage and coach and just really build communities around the desire to reinvent the possibilities, reimagine the future and the way we kind of always have done things, and then reinvite others back in to our passions. And that's really what this is at the summit, is an invitation into these conversations that I've been so passionate about for years. And I've been having them around, lunch tables with coworkers and in the back of chapels with friends, and late nights after just a big blowout fight or a failed attempt with Will. That's where all of these conversations really started. And, in Marco Polos and FaceTimes and every single time I'm reminded that, this space to talk about these things makes all the difference in how we can be strengthened and encouraged to continue and to build stamina, because we know that marriage is a marathon. We need to strengthen ourselves for the long haul. So that is why now.
Yeah. What is the hope for the wives that attend this?
It really is to increase in spiritual and relational and physical stamina in our marriages. We have to be able to find hope in each of those areas in order to continue to move forward, physically and mentally. There's a lot of strength needed to, make it through the day-to-day. And so that's the hope that's here, just to know that they're not alone. So I know that wives are going to be encouraged. They're going to have space to begin honest and brave conversations. And then they're going to get some practical tools to make it for the long haul. So that's the hope.
Yeah, that sounds great. Now, I was excited to see your list of speakers because I know most of them too. So why don't you share with us your connection to each one?
Yeah, I'm so thankful for these women that have decided and agreed to share their wisdom through the summit. And each of them inspires me and has encouraged me along my journey in a really different way. So one of them, Lori, is a mentor of mine and a leader, and she's been with me speaking truth, not always the truth I want to hear, but the truth that needs to be said, since before I was married. And we've just been walking through each season together. And so I'm really excited to have her. Another one of the speakers, Dr. Tao, we actually graduated high school together back in 2004. And then we've reconnected, and she's now a doctor of physical therapy. And she's going to share all about pelvic floor health and what that has to do with strengthening ourselves as wives. Another speaker I've connected with through Hello Mornings, which is an organization that is all about building life-giving morning routines, and it's been fun to journey. We're kind of in this new season together as entrepreneurs, so it's fun. And then all of the wives have really have something different to say. And that's what I'm really excited about. These aren't conversations that you've been hearing at wives summits or conferences for the last 10 years. We've heard those things and they're great, but these are things that we also want and need to hear, but you haven't heard yet. And so, yeah. And so
I can tell that by looking at the list of speakers.
Yeah.
So how can those that are listening and watching connect with you outside the summit?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel called Invited Back, and the website for my business is reimagine, reinvent.com. And you can look up either Sabeth Kapahu or Invited Back throughout social media channels. And I love connecting with people and encouraging. And so I would love to hear from any of the wives. My hope is that the community that builds inside of the summit will continue to stay strong. And so, and I would love to connect with everybody outside of that as well. So
I've watched those. They're very inspiring. As we close out this getting to know the host session, what do you want the wives to know?
Yeah, I really want them to know that who you choose to have meaningful conversations with makes all the difference. And there's too much at stake to let fear and shame or selfishness get in the way of an abundant life as a wife that we are all created to live. And so I want to encourage us to ask hard questions and to answer honestly, which isn't always easy, and then never stop just reimagining the possibilities. It's never too late, and you're not alone, and there is space for these conversations to happen.
That just sounds amazing. I can't wait. Thank you, Sabeth.
Thank you so much, Vicki.